Hi, and welcome to SBR Sports Picks. His name is Jimmy the Bag. My name is Peter Loshak. This is the Loshak and the Bag Show, the morning show for Thursday, January 3rd. Yesterday was an interesting day. The Dallas game went. Dallas won by 1, so they got the win, but they didn't win the puck line. I, of course, always take the -1 lines, which saves me at times, as it did yesterday. Also, I get a much smaller payout when I win, as opposed to Jimmy the Bag. The Pittsburgh Rangers game was very, very interesting. It went way over. I did have the first period under. A lot of times I get burned by taking those first period totals, but in that one, I got saved. Detroit did lose to Calgary, but my lean to the team total over was another lean that I should have given that I didn't give, and that one did cash, even though they lost. The Vancouver-Ottawa game was high scoring. That was interesting, and of course, San Jose, Colorado. I was thinking that one was going to be an over, and that was another lean that I had to the first period over and the full game over that I didn't give, but they were leans. And of course, the Edmonton-Arizona game was another game that I had a good read on as far as leans were concerned. I was leaning under. Edmonton had been terrible defensively for a bunch of games in a row. We know that their coach Hitchcock wants them to play a strong defense-oriented game, but we were talking about it yesterday, and we decided that Edmonton doesn't really have the personnel to be able to implement the kind of defensive game plan that they want to implement. Well, they did it yesterday. They shut down Arizona, probably against tougher offensive teams. They'll revert back to giving up a lot of goals. Jimmy the Bag, is that how you feel? You feel like maybe Edmonton is a team now that is going to step up defensively against anemic offensive teams, but that against strong offensive teams, they'll go back to giving 5, 6, 4, 5 goals or whatever. What do you think?
I think they're going to play a defensive system from here on out. I expect them to be okay defensively, even against good teams. They'll just hope that McDavid can get a couple opportunities. Sorry, I'm not in a good mood. It's funny, I was in a good mood till about 8 minutes ago. I won't. I know that part of this show is the transparency that you guys see, how we're feeling. So I will try to get over it. I had a bad night. I've had a bad start to the year. And I'm angry, Peter.
Yes, I know, Jimmy the Bag. I feel bad for you feeling angry. Hopefully, I know when I feel angry sometimes, just handicapping NHL games and NBA. Well, not so much NBA games. I imagine for you, handicapping NBA games puts your mood in a higher mood. For me, it's just NHL. Handicapping NBA games would put me in a better mood, except I'm so bad at it. And I can tell you that college basketball, though, I do have a total that I think I'm liking in college basketball. I do tend to specialize in totals. Long-time viewers of the show know that. And there is one total involving ranked teams. We'll talk about that in the college basketball segment that I think I'm liking. Jimmy the Bag, just take it easy. We'll ease into this show, and we will start with NHL, which should be a lot of fun. Although, the NHL card today is a little bit iffy. There's nothing that I hit on the overnight line. Yesterday, I was definitely liking the Rangers under, although that one lost. I was definitely liking Detroit, at least on the team total over. Not to win necessarily at the big dog line, but definitely on the team total over. And then, of course, we have in NBA, some big games. Kawhi Leonard returns to San Antonio, Houston and Golden State, the showdown there. And then the Sacramento Kings, once again, maybe in another spot where they have some value. They're once again a home dog, a high total. We've been riding Sacramento as an underdog and with their team total overs for basically the whole season, it seems. And Sacramento might once again be in a spot where at the very least, their team total over might have some value because recently, of course, they have been losing ATS, but their games have still been going over, and their team total overs have still been cashing, even though their ATS results have not been good in recent games. Jimmy the Bag.
Nice group of guys rolling with us today. Matt Randall, making money will make you feel better. I tailed Matt Randall in the under in Utah State, Nevada, which cashed last night. Speaking of college basketball, 4-3 day yesterday with the help of our Maxwell Smart, who will be joining us again today, which is wonderful. So shout out to Max. I'm so excited that we'll have him on the late show. We do not have a guest on the early show here, but great group of cappers. Want to give a shout out to Giovanni Biesdorf, Rosie Odar Lira, and Americ Gathin McGowan, the third, Yellow Jesus, Drew, Dan Kelly, Dave L.A., Daryl Lyles. Great group. I will get over the bullshit, but I'm coming off a bad day. Lost just under $1,000 yesterday. Bad start to the year. Had a bad end of the year. Don't feel like I'm seeing things clearly in either NBA or NHL, but I have already made some moves.
Not in NHL? Really?
No, I'm not feeling very... the holidays always seem to kind of mess me up. I'd much rather be in a situation where it's a Wednesday and I've capped all the games in the middle of a week. I know exactly what's going on. I feel like the New Year's Eve and the Christmas has kind of messed things up for me a little bit. But I have made some overnight plays in both NHL and NBA. And Shadow is joining us. Oh, it's so nice to see you, Shadow. It's so nice to see you, Shadow. My God, got so much love for you, Shadow. Really wonderful to see you joining us. Thinking about you. We also have a couple of things going. What goes on with the LoBag family is we cap together, but there's also real life, real drama. And I care about Shadow so much, everything he's going through. We have another situation where a LoBagger, Native Queen's son, was in a car accident.
Is that true? Wow, I didn't hear about this.
What do you mean is that true? What are you talking about?
I don't think you're making it up. This is the first time I heard about it.
We use different fucking language then. So shout out to Native Queen. Her son was in a car accident with his girlfriend, and they survived the car accident. The accident looked really, really bad. They're surviving. Wow. So please, everybody, all LoBaggers everywhere, please send prayers, love, and energy to Native Queen's son, his girlfriend, and all of Native Queen's family. We love you guys so much.
I was not aware of that. I apologize for using that language, but I did not. That's the first I heard about that, Jimmy the Bag. And I might have to the playing college basketball that I was looking at. I think I'm going to grab it right now because there's a chance that in 40 minutes the line will have dropped even lower, and that is NC State, Miami, Florida. I'm going to grab it right now. I like the under. It's all the way down to 152.5 at Pinnacle, and it's now 154 at wager. So I'm going to grab that one right now. When I bet it was 155. I'm definitely concerned that I'll lose a point if I wait half an hour or so. So I'm going to grab the under 154 at wager in North Carolina State, Miami, Florida. That was the college basketball game that I liked. The total is dropping, and I'm going to take that one. All right, so let's. I guess we're going to start with NHL, but let's quickly check some comments, see if there's any handicapping opinions that we want to copy and paste. And oh, there you go. Kobe Valentine says, NC State has played one hell of an easy schedule. Miami has owned this series. They got up for this team year in and year out. Yeah, it's just that NC State is a lot deeper, and they play tough defense. So I don't know who's going to cover necessarily here, but I definitely had a feeling that the under is going to be a nice play, and the total is definitely headed down, the high total. So there's a comment from Kobe Valentine. Let's see. Any other comments? I'm scanning for handicapping comments that we might want to use later. Jimmy the Bag, yes. Play of the day. Yesterday was the Lakers Thunder under. We had I took that one on the under, and OKC is playing elite level of defense right now. Is that an overstatement, or are they an elite defensive team right now?
I think they are. Wait till they get Roberson back, if they get him back. Yeah, I think they're playing very good basketball. Also, Westbrook shooting so poorly that they're not putting up big numbers. What do you go, 3 for 20 in his last game against the Lakers last night? Noli No says, love that under, Pete.
Yeah. All right. So I took that one, and it might be headed down. Cleveland on the money line yesterday was a big loser for me. Let's just review what happened in NBA yesterday, just so we can make sure that we learn any lessons that we had to learn from yesterday's show. Let's see. What happened? Of course, Dallas got their win against Charlotte. You know, sometimes it's very tricky to try to time a reversal of form. Dallas, of course, had been terrible on the road straight up. Not as bad ATS, but definitely bad straight up. And they absolutely got a blowout win over Charlotte. Shout out to Mally Mal, who put me on that one. And the market definitely pointed us in the right direction. Dallas terrible on the road, and a terrible on the road overall on the year. Small road underdog that got bet lower, and that told us that Dallas was the right side. And then the Orlando Magic, once again, you know, if you follow the market every time, you're not necessarily going to come out ahead, but the market was definitely trying to tell us that Orlando was the side yesterday against Chicago. Big win there. Cleveland got blown out, and a nice call on Jimmy the Bag, who had Boston yesterday against Minnesota. And yeah, so overall it wasn't that bad. You had a half-point loser in the Phoenix-Philly game, and who was it that said the Phoenix-Philly game was going to go over? Was that Dan Kelly? Shout out to Dan Kelly. That game soared over. And I guess that's it for our lessons that we need to remember from yesterday, right?
That is. Dan, I want to see more of a sample size of what you gave us. Not saying that I don't believe in it. So, Kobe Valentine saying Sparks did injure himself in practice. It's not saying I don't believe in it, Dan, but you gave us a sample size of, 6 games? Could you please give me more of a sample size.
Yeah. A bigger sample size. Just a soft request there, Dan Kelly. Matt Randall giving us some play of the days in college basketball as well. Portland State, Montana under. He wants that one. And then the Maryland game in college basketball shows you once again all about the number. Of course, Maryland opened up as a dog. If you got him there, great. If you got him at -1, which was my pick, that was a winner. If you got him at 2.5, which was what they were in the afternoon show, you got a loser. Of course, they won by 2, so the number was key there. Let me see. Other comments coming in.
We've got a lot of games to break through.
All right, you want to just jump on it?
Yeah, because we have to be done in an hour, so we only have 46 minutes left.
All right, so let's start with NHL. Let me see. There was nothing that there's a 2:00 game, obviously. Let's start with that one that starts at 2:00 Eastern time. Minnesota against Toronto. What are your thoughts, Jimmy the Bag? Initial thoughts.
Well, a lot of talk about the goalie. It was funny because Left Wing Lock was saying that Michael Hutchinson was going to be in goal. It was funny because reading all of the talk, it sounded like Garrett Sparks was going to be healthy. Colby let us know that it sounds like Garrett Sparks injured himself in practice, and Michael Hutchinson will be in goal. First-round draft pick from the Jets a few years ago has never looked good. 1-1-2, 4.17 goals against average, .839 save percentage this year. Probably shouldn't be trusted. In saying that, I don't know if I want to take the Wild here. Maybe I prefer the over in this game, but I wanted to make sure that Hutchinson would be in goal. This game is at 2:00 in the afternoon Eastern. It's the next century game. The start time falls exactly 100 years to the minute from Toronto's first NHL game. That was when the Toronto Arenas. So that's why this game is going in the afternoon. Very rare afternoon start on a non-holiday. Maple Leafs have not played since Saturday. They were destroyed by the Islanders 4-0. Home loss to the Islanders ended a 5-game winning streak. Wild coming off 3-2 home loss to Pittsburgh on Monday night. They've lost 6 of 7. Their losing streak coincides with losing Matt Dumba for 3 months to a ruptured right pectoralis muscle. Their offense has been terrible. They've scored only 30 goals in December, 4-8-1 in December, and their forwards are completely healthy. They're also not drawing any penalties. That's a sign of a team that's not, figuring out. They're not attacking. If you're not drawing any penalties, then you're not attacking. They've had only 13 power plays in their past 8 games. All that said, that makes me hesitant to take the over. I wanted to take the over, but it makes me hesitant to to take the over in this spot.
I would have been thinking about the under maybe, but why is the total so higher? Just because of what Toronto likes to do in general?
Yeah, and you got Dubnyk, who's not been good this year, 2.62 goals against average, .912 save percentage. You have Hutchinson or Sparks. I mean, I guess Sparks did scare me. I think Sparks will be a good NHL goaltender. I think he'll have a long career. We've talked about the goalies who won the goalie of the year in the AHL who've not stepped up like Markstrom. But I watched an interview over the holidays of Markstrom where he sounded so mature and confident. He sounded like such a leader. So I'm not surprised Markstrom's won 9 out of his last 10 games. I think Sparks will be a good goalie.
Interesting. Yeah, and you gave the opinion that Markstrom's recent success was illusory, that you didn't expect it to continue.
I expect it to continue. Ever since I saw the interview, I was blown. If you play hockey all your life, and a lot of the guys in our chat have played hockey all their life, the goaltender tends to be sort of a flaky guy. A fun guy, the funniest guy in the dressing room, not necessarily a leader. When I saw a Markstrom interview,
Sounds
I was
like drummers.
Yeah, it's a lot like drummers. Yeah, that's a good analogy. But I found that Markstrom's interview, I was like, wow. This guy is a leader in that dressing room, saying all the right things. I actually, and you know how important I find these interviews, watching interviews of players. So I expect Markstrom to continue playing well. And I told you when I came back from my holidays that this was the first time in 5 years where I think the Canucks can sustain good play.
All right, so no play on the 2:00 game for you then.
I think I will. What is the over at right now?
6.5.
Oh Jesus!
Up from 5.5. That's what I'm saying. Well, there are 6s though.
What are the 6s juiced to?
On the over?
Yeah.
120.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm going to make a move. I'd like to hear what everybody else is doing.
All right, so let me see. What else do we have here going on? I guess let's move on. We won't be able to talk about this in the afternoon game. Yeah, I mean, I guess Calgary on a back-to-back and Boston getting healthy. Is Boston now fully healthy, Jimmy the Bag? Because I was thinking Boston might be the play here. They are a big favorite. Calgary's such a strong team. But is Boston an automatic play here? They've definitely gotten bet up from opener. I'm
not going to fade the Flames,
right?
Even in bad situations for them. The question is, though, is Mike Smith actually going to play back-to-backs? Are they going to go with John Gillies? I had to study up on John Gillies. I didn't know much about him. So it's the second half of a back-to-back for them, but Riddick is hurt, so they called out Gillies from the Stockton Heat, where he's having a terrible year. 5-9-0, 4.07 goals against average, 864 save percentage, and he had a good year last year, and he played okay with the Flames in 11 games last year, went 3-5-1 with a 2.88 goals against average, 896 save percentage. That's the key point to this game. If Mike Smith comes back in net, I actually like him getting another shot. He's not been very good lately. I kind of like him going back-to-back, but that's extremely important capping this game. Is it Smith or is it Gillies? Gabe Paskey says, what are you saying about me, Jimmy? You are correct. A buddy of mine just took the Humboldt Broncos assistant job. Nice. That's great news, Gabe Paskey. I was sad to see their coach leaving after the season ended, but very, very important to keep the positivity going in Humboldt after everything that they went through last year with the bus crash. Bruins are very thankful to have Selke Trophy nominee Patrice Bergeron back. This guy is absolutely incredible. 7 points in 5 games back, a +3. They get David Backes back after he finished serving a 3-game suspension. They may get Charlie McAvoy back. If they get McAvoy back, then my God, they're a completely healthy team for the first time all year. Johnny Hockey, though, played his college hockey at Boston College, was a star there, loves playing in Boston. I know it's the second half of a back-to-back, but these Flames are just too dangerous to fade right now. Too dangerous for me to fade.
Okay. Yeah, because I was thinking that, Calgary, even the elite teams, they're going to lose their games. You know what I'm saying? And I guess you want to fade them when they're a big favorite. But I was thinking this might be a good spot to take up Boston. I guess I'll think about that a little bit. Teams like Calgary can handle back-to-backs no problem, right?
I don't know. You're right. It's a great spot for Boston. There's no doubt about it being a great spot for Boston.
And Boston's a quality team, right?
A quality hockey team, but dealing with all the injuries, 22-14-4.
Yeah.
Basically, they've won 4 more games than they've lost, even though 4 came in overtime or a shootout. Boston's not scoring 20th in goals per game at 2.83. Third in goals allowed at 2.63. They've power plays sustained even with all the injuries at 27.1%, but their penalty killing fell back at 79.8%. I just, I have all my futures on the Flames. I got them a +560 to win the division, 14-1 to win the conference, 28-1 to win the cup. I think they're a very dangerous hockey team.
All right, I guess let's, we can make plays on this one in the evening show if we want. Let's move on to Carolina-Philadelphia. Philadelphia, of course, off of the awful road trip. I was thinking maybe Carolina, Sebastian Aho, great. They have some positives, some negatives. McElhenney, I know you're really high on him, and I agree with that. I wouldn't necessarily be happy to fade Carolina so readily and easily, but maybe this is a good spot for Philly, and you're getting them at a very low price coming off the bad road trip.
I think it's a good spot for Philly. They should have revenge in mind. The Hurricanes' last game was against the Flyers. I want to give a shout-out to all these guys in the chat. Sorry, we have to blow through this so bad, but we've been cut back our time. We only get an hour now to roll. But Chris Gill, much love to you. Thank you for the positivity. All you guys, thank you for the positivity and all that good stuff. Yeah, let's get back to the Flyers-Canes spot. Flyers have lost 4 straight, coming off 4-0 loss at Nashville Tuesday night. Scott Gordon has not changed anything, but I guess I agree with the firing of Hackstall. I guess the new management, after getting rid of Hextall, wanted a different coach, and so I guess that's fine. But Philly scored 2 goals in its last 3 games. They're getting absolutely nothing from Nolan Patrick. This guy's second overall pick in 2017. He's just giving them nothing. He ended the season so hot. He's been out with an upper body injury, but he's not playing well. He's got, I believe, 2 assists in his last 25 games. Hurricanes haven't played since beating these Flyers. Carolina hasn't scored in its last 25 attempts on the power play. You just can't back team. I was going to back the Hurricanes. But after breaking the game down for a while, Jordan Staal tried to come back from his concussion last game, left after taking a hit in the first period, which sucks. It really sucks for Jordan Staal. I don't know if you guys know this, but the worst concussion he took in his career was from his brother, Eric Staal, in the game. And Eric felt so bad about it, but Staal obviously is dealing with concussion issues. It sucks to see him deal with all this stuff. And I wanted to back the Hurricanes, but after breaking the game down, I can't. Gabe Paskey says Flyers will roll tonight, puck line. I can understand you guys liking the Flyers and the Bruins. I feel like something's wrong with my NHL capping. Can we do we have the records?
Yeah, we have the NHL record. I mean, Both of our NHL records are very, very good now. Your NHL record is now just extremely good instead of awesome, which maybe it was a few days ago. This is to be proud of. Jimmy the Bag.
I'm proud of that record at this point in the year. I'm proud, or I'm fine with it. Maybe I should say I'm fine with that record. But I just don't feel like I'm seeing things as clearly as I'd like to. Usually, I come in with 5 to 8 plays that I really want to make, and I'm just hesitant right now. I'm overthinking things, and I'm not comfortable.
Yeah, I feel you. In the meantime, part of as I say all the time, 75% of my NHL record is due to Jimmy the Bag's analysis, me listening, and of course the comment section. And here are some more comments. Mally Mal, shout out to Mally Mal for putting me on Dallas yesterday. He says, Pete, take Boston. That's the way I was leaning. And Mr. Gokster says, could be 10 goals in this game. He's talking about the Philly game. So Mally Mal likes Boston. Mr. Gokster likes Boston team total over. And Mr. Gokster definitely likes the over in the Philly game. Let's move on. I may add on some official plays as we discuss other games. Jimmy the Bag, you want to talk Florida Buffalo?
Sure. Florida Buffalo, I've already made a play on the over. I guess so at my book, they're still hanging the 6.5 at plus 110. I don't want that. I made the play at 6, but I've seen other books giving nice lines. The reason why the total is actually dipping a little bit is Jack Eichel is going to be out of the lineup. I know how these teams play. They play offensive. Now, the Sabres have not been scoring lately. But it doesn't matter. Luongo's playing awful. Luongo's a very streaky goalie. They're going to go back with Luongo. They want Luongo to be their starting goaltender. They don't want Reimer to be their starting goaltender. Reimer's playing very good of late. Luongo's playing terrible. It looks like they're going back to Luongo here. Panthers coming off 4-3 shootout win at Detroit on Monday. They were down 3-0 after the first period. Detroit's lost their last 2 games, up 3-0 in one period against Florida, and then up 2-0 last night. It's amazing that they're playing so poorly after those leads. But this Panthers team's won 6 of 8, 4-1-0 over their last 5. They continue to move forward without Trocheck and Bukestad, 2 very important forwards. Sabres have lost 5 of 6 and 6 of 8. We talked about that happening last week, 2 weeks ago. We think they're going to fall back. Now they don't have Jack Eichel, but their defensemen are healthy. I still think they can score. I still think they can put up points against this Panthers team. So I am still on the over.
And you tweeted that one out?
Yes, I did. I got the over 6 at minus 115. I could have got a better line now.
And Buffalo without Eichel is a team that can put up offense. You trust them?
I mean, they've got offensive players lit all through this line. Now, obviously, they're going to be better with Eichel. But the big thing to me is like the 2-3 weeks ago, they were playing without 2 of their top 4 defensemen. They have those guys back. Their power play will still be dangerous even without Eichel.
So why don't you? Sorry. Well, we will move on. But why don't you like Buffalo here?
Well, because I'm not going to fade this Florida Panthers team. If anything, I would jump all over the Panthers, but I don't trust Luongo. In no way am I backing the Sabres. We've talked about it for the last 2 or 3 weeks. They are going to fall back to earth, and I don't expect them to make the playoffs.
Okay, let's move on. Once again, except for the 2:00 game, we can make official picks in the late show here. Vancouver, Montreal. Vancouver's off a win. They beat Ottawa. I guess that makes 2 straight games that Vancouver has played very well now. Should Montreal be this big of a favorite? If Montreal was minus 125 here, I'd be all over them. At minus 175, what's your take, Jim?
Well, this is a strange spot. Again, this is another back-to-back where we need to know whether Markstrom's going to be in goal. I would like to see Markstrom in goal. They just made the trade for McKenna. Also, Price wants to be in goal. And I don't understand really what's going on with the relationship between Price and Julian. I don't know if he's teasing the media and teasing Price about saying that we're not sure if he's ready. They sent their third-string goalie back, so it's just Price in the Emmy now, so I can't quite figure out. Mr. Gokster says, I see Price likely. Julian sure doesn't sound like it's going to be Price, but I almost think Julian might be teasing the media or teasing people.
Everything I've read suggested Price here.
Everything I've read suggests Price is very upset. He says he's being ready to play. He's only made it through 1 practice. So at this point, I need to wait to find out who's in goal because Price is upset. Price is upset. He's only made it through 1 practice, but he says he's healthy. So Julian's like, well, why aren't you practicing? So I'm not sold that Price will be in goal at this point. They've gone 2-1 without Price. They've now won 4 or 5. They're playing good hockey. They're coming off a 3-2 win at Dallas on Monday night. Armia is out. Andrew Shaw is questionable. The Nucks are on the second half of a back-to-back after defeating the Senators 4-3 in overtime last night. They just picked up McKenna, as I said. So McKenna could be in net, but this is a tough spot to throw McKenna in. But he stayed on the East. So he just basically switched jerseys in Ottawa last night. So McKenna could be in there. But the big reason why we made the trade is because we want Thatcher Demko up from Utica. We've been waiting for this kid to be a star. So that's the reason why we made the trade. So McKenna is going to be our goaltender in Utica. He's played for 21 professional teams over the last handful of seasons. Unbelievable. The Canucks are rolling. 9-13. Pettersson's a beast. Besser's a beast. They combined for 5 points against the Senators. Pettersson gets a hat trick. This team is playing so well. Pettersson now has 10 multi-point games in first 37 games in the NHL, 10 multi-point games. Brandon Sutter could be back at any moment, and then they'll be fully healthy. Chris Blanchard says Canucks have been brutal on back-to-backs. They have not been good on back-to-backs, but they've not been a good hockey team. This is legitimately the first time, even this year, that I've seen sustainable good play from them.
Man, what a tough game. All right, let's move on to Chicago and the Islanders. Of course, the Hawks have won 5 of 7, right? Are they a week ago or 2 weeks ago in 2018 at some point, I had the Hawks labeled as a dumpster fire and was doing pretty well just following that script, right? Not a dumpster fire anymore. Isles have been winning too, though, playing great defensively. What about an under here? What do you think? Is Lehner back fully and you trust him and you want to buy into him?
I'm all over the Islanders here. I'm all over fading Delia, who's a 1.66 goals against average, 957 save percentage. I'm all over fading the Blackhawks after winning 5 of 7. We're actually getting value fading them. I want the Islanders in Nassau nonstop. Now, I'm not entirely sure if our fade of the Western Conference teams playing in the sleepy Barclays Center actually works in Nassau. And so this isn't a simple play where I actually prefer this if it was in the sleepy Barclays Center. I'm a little worried that it's going to be sold out in Nassau. That might spark the Blackhawks. So this isn't what we did last year with great success, just fading every Western team on the puck line when they came to Barclays Center, because Nassau puts a little bit of a different trick into this whole thing. Look at this. What Trotzy has done with this Islanders team is absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
Last year, 296 goals allowed. Most in the NHL since 06-07. They pretty much have the same roster. They lose their star center in Tavares, but they get old Trotzy behind the bench, that old man that demands accountability. He comes in. He's done a hell of a job. They have injuries to Andrew Ladd, Jordan Eberle, Valtteri Filppula up front, Thomas Hickey on the back end, and they are now number 1 in the league in goals against. I'm just blown away at that. I'm so impressed. Blackhawks coming off 4-2 loss in the Winter Classic. They're playing very good hockey. You're right. 6-3-1 over the last 10. I think that gives us value. Islanders -1.5. I've already made that bet. I got +165 at Bet365.
All right. So Troy V and Dom Ricci are talking about Hawks first period overs. Rem Mo says Lehner confirmed. When I see the Islanders right now, I'm just thinking under a pass in any given situation, right? No?
I mean, lately, without a doubt. Lately, without a doubt. But I don't know. I'm not so. I know that Trotzy's done a hell of a job. He's changed their whole dynamic. Second in goals allowed. So it says second here, but I was reading that they were first. Second on my stats at 2.61. But their special teams aren't very good. 17th in goals per game against the Blackhawks team where special teams are terrible. So yeah, I would think the under would be the play, but Alex B. Smith got everybody on these first period overs with the Blackhawks, and he got on them early, and they hit something like 14 or 15 times straight. Shout out to Alex B. Smith, great capper.
Man, so you're on the Islanders with that big line. I haven't made one official pick yet in NHL. Jimmy the Bag, let me just refresh my memory. So what are the picks that you tweeted out in NHL?
I tweeted. I'll have to pull. Here I got them right here. I made 3 plays.
All right, I'll check them. I'll do it. I'll check it myself.
Okay, here I got the Tampa Bay LA Kings under.
Okay.
I got under 6. We'll break that game down in a second.
That's okay. I can go to Twitter and write them down. Let's talk about Washington and St. Louis right now. St. Louis 2 straight low-scoring losses. The Caps are off a loss. Ovechkin is struggling. Is Ovechkin out for this one? Because I know he's sitting one game because of the All-Star. Is that this game?
that has to be the game before the All-Star break, which the All-Star game's on the 26th.
Right. It's not okay. So I read something that was incorrect, saying he was going to sit out this game. Ovechkin's in a slump. Caps are off a loss. You see this so many times, Jimmy the Bag. The Caps are obviously a much better team than St. Louis, right? Tiny road favorite here. They might not even be the favorite anymore. What's your take on this one? While I can
understand why our man St. Louis Elite is high on this Blues team. They are just getting healthy. I actually think that they're going to give us value in certain situations. Will that be here? I don't know. The Capitals did not look good getting Brooks Orpik back after he missed 27 games, coming off a 6-3 home loss to the Predators. But they still won 9 of 11. They're playing very, very good hockey. Blues coming off back-to-back home losses. Latest was a 2-1 setback at home to the Rangers. We talked about that game when we got back on Wednesday. They shot the Rangers 40-23 in that game. They got Robbie Fabry back. Now they have Pietrangelo back. Carl Gunnarsson back. This is the healthiest they've been all year. I'm not sure what to do with this game. I think that Jake Allen could get hot.
Mm-hmm.
Cash action bets liking Washington. I can understand that. I do not like Holtby on the road. This is a tougher game than it looks. If you were just looking at the odds, you'd think, wow, the Capitals have a lot of value here.
Well, yeah, I mean, you see this in all professional sports and in college sports, day in and day out, week in and week out. A much better road team as a tiny, tiny favorite. Very, very tempting. A lot of times it's a trap. Sometimes it does have a big value. And this one, is telling you, and like for instance, in yesterday's game with the Calgary game, you were thinking that maybe Detroit had some value as a big home dog, and if they did, I would have expected the line to drop at least a little bit, 10 points. But since it moved in the opposite direction, I stayed off Detroit. I was leaning to Detroit team total over. 16-point line move here in favor of St. Louis. A strong market line move in favor of St. Louis. That tells me that you really, really want to be careful about taking Washington.
Richie Rich, who hammers NHL, great NHL capper, says 80% of the plus 80% public money on Washington.
Right.
Washington offense not good on the road. He says in Capitals, St. Louis all the way.
Yeah, I mean, at a certain point, if St. Louis moved to minus 150, no, they wouldn't be a good bet anymore. But maybe this is a line worth tailing.
Mal saying like that under, Jim. I think he's actually talking about the Lightning Kings, which I love, the under on. But I could understand. I feel like taking the under in Capitals games is just risky.
Yes.
Risky. What's the total there?
Well, it's in the Caps game. Let me just find it. It's, a 6 hasn't moved much since opening.
It's risky business to me. I don't trust Holtby on the road. And then Richie Rich is right about the Capitals offense on the road. The Blues seem appealing play, but then I don't want to fade the Capitals after a poor defensive effort gave them a 6-3 loss. So I'm off of it. Don Ricci saying Jimmy Nassau is sold out tonight. God, I would love to see a game in Nassau before they move over to Belmont. God, Dom, I would love to go to a game in that building. I still haven't been in that barn.
So Nassau sold out. They're going to have a big home advantage then tonight.
Oh, yeah, and Nassau's going to be sold out all through the games because they've cut down a few seats. There's only about 14,800. Dom would know the exact number. But, yeah, I really, really like.
Moving back to the Washington-St. Louis game, what's your take on Jake Allen right now? He's a guy who is very up and down. At times over the past 3 years, he's been one of the top goalies in the NHL, for small stretches at least, right?
Well, not in the last 2 years now, right? So we're starting to talk. But there's a reason why they kept him. I mean, they've got goaltending experts there and deciding to keep him.
Yes.
I don't know if he's got a ton of value right now. But he's a streaky goaltender. I'm surprised he's playing as bad as he is. Now they have a Blues defense that's fully healthy. I expect Jake Allen to start playing better.
Right. Okay, so you tweeted out 3 NHL plays, right?
I did.
So you have Tampa Bay, LA under 6, Islanders puck line, and Florida Buffalo over 6. I'm an inch away from tailing you on the Islanders game, of course, on the -1 line though. Just quickly once again, so Chicago, their recent success, you think is a little bit of an illusion?
No, I don't understand exactly why they're as bad as they are, really. I mean, I hate what Bowman has done with the team, and I think he's made enormous mistakes, the Panarin move especially. I mean, here we have Panarin wants to play in a big city. He's not going to re-sign in Columbus. He loved being in Chicago. It was just a vividness bias that brought Sayad back, and Bowman's done that with Patrick Sharp as well. He's just done a terrible, terrible job as a GM. He should be fired. But the Blackhawks team, what is Keith a bad defenseman? Like, is Seabrook bad? Like, I don't understand how they could have fallen off as fast as they have.
That's what I'm saying. When I had them circled as a dumpster fire about 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, I couldn't tell you why. I know I was right with the label, but I agree with you. I couldn't tell you why. I was just looking at the results and the numbers. All right, let's move on to Tampa Bay, LA. You've already tweeted out under. You got 6 -106, and that is right where it is. 6 -106. Okay, I'm seeing 6 -105 right now at Bookmaker. We're using a lot more books than we were before. 6 -106 will give you, though, Tampa Bay, LA. Obviously, Tampa Bay had a very low-scoring game against Anaheim recently, and Tampa Bay is exploding offensively, exploding winning. But they're trying to become a team based on all the reports that I've read that can win both ways, right? Low scoring games and high scoring games. Feels like on this West Coast trip, they are practicing their chops winning these low scoring games. And maybe that's just a no brainer taking another one here. Is that your reasoning? Why do you like the under here?
Well, Campbell's back. That helps them a lot. I don't know if Campbell's going to be in net tonight. Do we know who? Because these left wing locks, all these pages are giving us bad information. I feel like I don't.
I am seeing both unconfirmed, so not even any likelies.
Yeah, this Kings. So the Lightning are spectacular. Let's talk about how incredible they are right now. They 14-0-1 stretch, best month in franchise history. They went 13-0-1 in December. 8th NHL team in the past 10 years to play an entire month without a loss in regulation. They've earned a point 15 consecutive games. They most recently 2-1 overtime road game against the Ducks. The only other Lightning team with a longer point streak won the Stanley Cup in 03-04. Since 2001, no pair of teammates have combined to record 50 points in a single month. Kucherov and Stamkos did that this year. It has not been done since Jagger and Lemieux in 2001. Oh, my God. They're just a phenomenal, phenomenal hockey team. And if they didn't play in the same division as the Leafs, I'm not saying that they can't beat the Leafs, but that's going to be one hell of a series, Lightning Leafs, that I can't wait to watch. And it's enough for me not to take the Lightning in futures. If they get out of their division and they play in the conference final, I will take them for sure if they're healthy. But at this point, the Kings know, oh, God, the only chance we have is to play the most defensive hockey possible. They are going to play ugly hockey tonight. They're going to dump and chase 5 guys along the blue line, 5 guys. They're going to play so defensive. Oh, and Tom Ricci saying the capacity is now 13.9. Yeah, I knew it was much smaller. I love the under in this spot. It's just now, I mean, it can go wrong, but it's the only way to play this Lightning team if you're a slow, plodding team like the Kings. I'm all over the under.
Man, you really fucking know hockey, Jimmy the Bag.
I need to have a better record. I'm struggling in the last little bit. And
guys complaining about a 6 or 8% ROI over a big sample size. Yeah, I would love to take the under here too as well. Do we want to wait for confirmation for these goalies? And Tampa Bay will probably be amenable to this style of game as well, right?
Yeah, they just played the Ducks to a 2-1 game. You were talking about how they're much more comfortable in low-scoring games. They love this streak. Yeah. They love this streak. Richie Rich says, right on, Jimmy. Kings control the pace. They're a big plotting team. Also, Richie Rich really liking the Islanders play. He says even though that 55% is on the public, he thinks the public is right in that situation. Great having Richie Rich capping NHL with us. Thank you for joining us. Yeah, it doesn't matter to me if Quick's in goal or if Campbell's in goal.
Okay, I'm gonna start off by taking the first period under here, 1.5 plus 110. The first period under in Tampa Bay.
Wow, Newkworker says both Leaf goalies are out today. Oh, well, that's because you're talking about Anderson. Sorry, yeah, so Hutchinson, you're talking about the AHL goalie. Okay, sorry. I thought you meant Sparks and Hutchinson. Sorry, my fault.
I'm also thinking about taking, just to bounce back, I'm thinking about taking the Blackhawks team total under. We know that the Islanders play a strong defense, so the Blackhawks going to be able to force the issue offensively here? What do you think?
I just don't see how they can. I just look at this team. They're now 19th in goals per game, 2.88, so they're improving. They're still 26th in power play. There was talk about, what's going wrong. Why is Keith playing so poorly? He's old. He's 36 years old. I'm amazed. I think he's got to be a little older than that because I'm 39, and he was on the Penticton Panthers team that I tried out for. So I think he is a little older than that, but this team's still 26th in power play. That makes no sense to me. That's the reason why I'm like, what the hell is wrong with Keith and Seabrook, Kane, and you'd think if I was playing Xbox hockey, I'd have that power play rolling.
Right.
So why is it not rolling? I can't understand it.
And you're a believer in Lehner. No problems with him. No questions. None of that.
930 save percentage this year.
And that is something you roughly expect to continue. I'm not saying.
Yeah, Robin Lehner's always been a good goalie. He was a first-round draft pick. The issue was upstairs. The issue was with the bottle. I point to my coffee. But the issue is with the bottle, and the issue is he has got a bipolar disorder. And those things, they come and go, and you try to figure out ways to handle it, and sometimes you're on top of it, and sometimes you lose grip on it, and that's just what was going on with
All right, I'm not going to mess around with the total in this one, but I am going to tail you, Jimmy the Bag. I'm going to take the Islanders -1, though. The money line -165. That's a market line right now. The puck line at Heritage +166, so I will take that one, or actually I'll take 165, which is a market line. So that's going to be exactly +100. I'm going to tail you on that one. Islanders -1 at exactly +100. Tampa Bay, LA, first period under 1.5 +110. 110. Jimmy the Bag tweeted out 3 plays. Florida Buffalo over 6. Islanders puck line. And Tampa Bay LA under 6. I might add on a bunch of plays that go along with Jimmy the Bag's reads on these games in the evening show. But let's move on to the 3 NBA games. How about that? You ready to move on?
Let's do it.
All right, 3 NBA games. Obviously, Kawhi Leonard returns to San Antonio. That's an interesting situation. It's going to be an intense atmosphere. Does that mean defense or offense? I'm not exactly sure. Then we got Sacramento. Once again, I was thinking Sacramento team total over. Why should they be this big of a home dog here? And then the Houston Golden State showdown. The total has gotten bet down. The last time they met was a very low scoring game. Houston blew out Golden State. Revenge here for Golden State. You like anything on these 3 games?
Yeah, I already made Rockets plus 8.5 a play. It's funny. Some like Ralph Portwando is like, man, Ralph Portwando is so incredible with totals, also from the Bay Area, so incredible with NBA, and he was like, man, I hate saying it, but I think you're on the wrong side. Then I got a ton of hate for it, fade Jimmy the Bag. Also, I'm coming off a 1-4 night in NBA where everybody, I mean, if you see these guys on King's Court, they're absolutely smashing it right now. Yeah. Everybody seemed to be scoring on NBA last night except for me, and now I believe I'm in single-digit units. Can we Rafa, I need to see the NBA record.
We don't have to, but if it gets requested even by one of us, I guess it gets thrown up there.
I need to be inspired. I've not had a good read in the NBA, and now it's single-digit. Oh, barely over. Barely over. Okay. So, first off, I'm going to back the Rockets here. I think it's a ton of points. What's been the movement here? Did I beat a line change? Did I miss a line?
You got 8.5, and the line, no, it's still 8 or 8.5, split line market wide.
Yeah, but I got 8.5 at minus 106.
Yes.
So is that still, I don't think that's, I kind of looked around.
Oh, you got 8.5 minus 106. No, you'd have to take 115. All right, so you beat a small line move there. Nice to see Jimmy the Bag.
Small line move, but I'd love to hear what our incredible NBA cappers have to say about that. And especially when Dan Kelly comes in about a total in that spot. Parlay Philly with the over. I mean, God, I should just stop everything and follow what he said, or what his numbers, what his lifetime of breaking down numbers gives him, whatever answers gives him. Harden is on an absolute tear right now. 9 straight game with 35 or more points. I don't find it too surprising that it's happening without Chris Paul. He seems to like it. Even though we know if that team's going to win very important games, they're going to need Paul. But Harden's now got 9 straight 35 or more point games, only being accomplished 3 times since the merger. Rockets have won 5 straight, 10 of 11, coming off 113-111 home win over Memphis on Monday. Harden had a 43-point triple-double. During their 5-game winning streak, Harden 41.8 points, 8.4 assists, 6.2 boards. Unbelievable. Chris Paul out with a hamstring issue. Eric Gordon struggling to return from a knee injury. Both will be out of the lineup, but they'll get James Ennis back. That will help defensively. He's been out since December 11th with a strained hamstring. House has been playing very well. He'll probably stay in the starting lineup. Warriors rebounded back-to-back home losses. The Lakers and Blazers by defeating Portland by 10 on the road, following that by smashing the Suns. Warriors are as healthy as they've been in a long time. In saying all that, I just think this is a ton of points. 8.5 points.
It seems that way.
I'll take a shot with it. That's all. I just feel like it's enough points for me to roll with. I got 8.5 in my book too, but a minus 110 when I bet it. Got minus 106 with the play here. I was surprised that Bet365 was hanging the 8.5. I hear what you guys are saying. Kevin Pine says, think Warriors are locked in. Chris Blanchard said Golden State tonight, best bet. I had a ton of people saying you're making a terrible mistake, Jimmy. Trent Clarkson said Golden State, third quarter, minus 2.5. Again, free money. Trent Clarkson, what a great capper he is. All that said, I just think it's too many points, and I don't think the pressure's on the Rockets here. I know that they've won 10 of 11, but the pressure is on the Warriors to send a message. So in saying all that, I'm going to take the Rockets plus 8.5.
All right, Carter, cater to you by Chef likes the Warriors cover tonight. And Luis Fernando Esquinza says maybe the Raptors Spurs goes under playoff atmosphere. It is going to be a playoff atmosphere. I don't know if it goes under full game, but maybe the first half, right? How do we think this is going to go?
I can understand. If Chris Paul was in this game, I would jump all over the under. DJ Big Boss already said how Paul slows down the pace. I just don't feel like – I just don't trust – now – I just don't trust unders without Chris Paul when it's just Harden and he's going off. Now, they've been playing lower scoring games of late, but I still don't trust it enough.
Mally Mal really liking the Nuggets. They've been struggling ATS, but 6-0 against the Kings ATS. Once again, this is one where I'm going to wait to see what the market tries to tell us. But should the Nuggets be a favorite here, a road favorite here against the Kings?
Well, yeah, they should be. Mm-hmm. They should be. They're now getting healthier. So they're dangerous. This is a dangerous basketball team. Paul Millsap played 2 games since missing 8 with a broken toe. Gary Harris missed 11 games with a hip injury, and he's been coming off the bench. So he normally started. He came off the bench last game, 6 points in 20 minutes. I expect him to get the opportunity to start. And the guys have stepped up. Mm-hmm. The guys have stepped up. Malik Beasley has taken huge advantage. He's rolling. He scored a career-high 23 points, hit 5 3-pointers in Tuesday's win. Will Barton remains out for the Nuggets. That's it. It's just Barton that's out. So, yeah, I understand why the Nuggets are road favorites here. Does that mean that I want to back them? I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I want to back him here. Kings have lost 2 straight and 3 of 4, coming off 113-108 loss at home to the Blazers. They've been playing without Bagley. He would help a lot. I know he's not a defensive juggernaut by any means, but he would help against Jokic. But this is a healthy team other than Bagley. Sacramento's just 4-5 without him. Gerald Martinez says, yes, Nuggets are a healthy, great defensive team. Jokic will give Sacramento fits.
Yeah.
Jeremy Miller says, if you don't have a lean in Kings Nuggets, at least take the first quarter spread with the Nuggets and cash it. Wow.
The first quarter spread with the Nuggets.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, all right. I'm going to hold off on this one. I'm not exactly sure what I think about any of these 3 games. Jimmy the Bag. So you have just one play here. Houston plus 8.5. Is that it?
That's it right now. I mean, I'm looking forward to talking about this Raptors-Spurs game. I guess I need a little bit more time with Nuggets-Kings. We'll get a chance to talk about it on the Late Show, so I guess I need a little bit more time. Brant Hunt says I like the under in the Nuggets-Kings game. What is that total at, and what's being moved?
The under, 220. Yeah, I mean, it has dropped a little bit. No, not really, but 227. Nah, it hasn't dropped. It's a split line. It's dropping at Pinnacle, but other places 227.5.
And Von Burgess coming in saying Nuggets-Kings over. Dean Williams saying Kings due to drop off eventually. They're not an above 500 team. Yeah, And what's been the movement with the Nuggets on this as a road favorite?
Not much. That's what I'm saying. The market isn't really indicating anything. I mean, except for the opener. They opened at 3 at Pinnacle and now up to 3.5. But other than that, no movement since then. So an early movement in favor of Denver, which I think is telling. But I would take late movement to be more telling, obviously.
Yeah, I'm going to hold off on that. I may hold off on both of these games. This is a great card. We should be able to, with everybody working together, we should be, here we go. Dan Kelly, Raptors under parlay.
Shout out to you, Dan Kelly.
He paid up to get 3 from 2.5 this morning, but that is gone. Kawhi making his first trip back to San Antonio, coming off a career-high 45-point performance. My God, he's playing well. And that was a 122-116 home win over the Jazz. He's now scored over 30 points in 3 of his last 5 games, 11 times on the season. Siakam is being a beast, 28 points, 10 boards. We have Norman Powell back. He scored a season-high 14 points. Raptors won their 4th straight at home. Now they're on the road here. Raptors been getting it done without Kyle Lowry. He's played 1 game over the last 9, and Valanciunas, who's going to be out for another 3 to 4 weeks. Spurs have won 10 of 13, coming off a 120-111 home victory over the Celtics. Valanciunas would be so helpful in this game, and we don't have him. That's the one concern. That's my biggest concern is no Valanciunas. Spurs are as healthy as they've been all season. Gasol came back in there, win over the Celtics, but played just 5 minutes. Pop will bring him back from his foot injury very slowly. Al Hart says, I'm on the Spurs under.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking as well. I mean, it's going to be a playoff atmosphere. I'm not sure if that means under for the full game, although Dan Kelly definitely believes that. But I was thinking at the very least maybe a first period under.
Also, Ben Goldstein saying, I agree. I think back to our last game, I agree. I think the Kings are very overvalued. Their advanced statistics are not as good as their record. I'll be looking to fade them in the near future.
Interesting. Who was that? Ben Goldstein? Yeah. Shout out to Ben Goldstein. Huge shout out to Ben Goldstein.
A lot of guys liking the under. So what's been the movement on that total?
Let me see, because I'm an inch away from pulling the trigger on the first period over here, under here, although I could easily get burned on that one.
Jeremy Miller saying, no Lowry, no Gay. 8 of 12 went under in the last 12 San Antonio games. 6 of 8 under at home. Love the under.
Yeah. That's how I was feeling as well. All right, you know what? I'm going to start with... I'm just going to start with the first quarter under. I'm going to take 56 minus 118 at Pinnacle, 56 minus 118 at Pinnacle. Might add on the first half and full game unders as well, but I'm going to start with that one. I'm going to start just with the first period under, Toronto Spurs. Here we go. I'm going to add that one on there. Toronto Spurs, first quarter under, 56 minus 118. That is the current line at Pinnacle.
The total's gone up a little bit.
Has it? Let me see.
I mean, from a Bet Online opener, they've gone up a half point.
Yeah. It's definitely uncertain. The market is uncertain here, all the way from 216 to 217.5. Bovada, which usually likes to lean to the over, is down at 216. Bookmaker all the way up at 217.5. So clear uncertainty right now as far as where the total should be in Toronto Spurs. Dan Kelly, not uncertainty in his mind. He's liking the under. I'm going to take the first quarter under, and we'll leave it at that. Do you want to move on?
No, I can understand. I can understand what they're doing here with what Dan's seeing here in the playoff type atmosphere. I can understand that. And also, if Pop knows Kawhi inside and out, then maybe he can create a defense that can slow him down or at least put him in uncomfortable situations. Mally Mouse says Spurs Raptors will be a good game, but Leonard is better than DeRozan. Ray Williams says Spurs -2 and money line. John Blythe says, what do you think about San Antonio -1.5? Very interesting. Joe Kim says Spurs have different mindset to play without Kawhi. Look at how much they score at home in the last month. Kobe Valentine giving us a final score of 106-102 Raptors.
There you go, under.
Way under.
Louis Charleston, though, likes the over in the Spurs game. And Jansen Bonzone, second place in the Breathe the Brick contest, right? Or third place. Kawhi wants his game bad. Stick it to Pop's face. Lamont Williams says, Pete, what about Golden State solo over? Yeah, that might not be a bad play. I could see this Golden State game exploding over. And
so sweet. Not Flush Allen says, Jimmy, I stopped my big rig in traffic when Dan put up that Philly stat and put it in a parlay with Magic money line, Sixers -2.5, and the over.
Very nice.
I love to see Nutflush Allen pull his big rig over.
Very nice.
Shout out Nutflush Allen, and shout out Dan Kelly. My man Carlos Perot, he says, I'm back with cheesy balls and all. How I've missed you, Pete, he says. I feel like my life was empty without you guys. Great to have you back, Carlos.
Shout out to Carlos Peroj. All right. Do you want to take a few minutes to talk about college basketball?
Yaya says, when will you add NFL? It's only the playoffs. I would like to spend a lot of time on NFL Friday on the Late Show because that will be after I have done a full hour of breaking down those 4 games with Donnie Rightside and Whale Capper. And Whale Capper will be on with us for the full hour. So I would prefer to do that after having all the breaking it down with those guys. Imagine 15 minutes a game we're going to be able to hammer on this. So I would prefer to do that.
Trenton Claxton says Toronto is a lock. Mally Mal says Spurs can't shut that man down. I feel like the Spurs are going to have an advantage on the inside. Now, you know matchups much better than I do, Jimmy.
Definitely, without Valanciunas.
Right? I mean,
I can understand what you guys are saying about Ibaka and Aldridge not being physical. But, God, it'd just be so nice to be able to get 25 minutes out of Valanciunas, a high-tempo 25 minutes. That's why he's been playing so well.
Right.
I mean, my God, this guy comes in, knows he's only going to have 25 minutes and can use up all his energy. I've been very impressed.
All right, so let's talk just a few minutes.
Okay, I'm going to jump on the under. I've had
really?
enough time. Yeah, I'm going to
Okay, well, we can give you, what can we give you? 217.5 -110. It's all over the place right now. So we can give you Toronto, Spurs, under 217.5.
Wow, Dan Kelly says I might bet all 4 quarters under.
Really?
Wow.
In Toronto Spurs?
Yeah.
All right, well, that's enough for me. Toronto Spurs under 217.5 -110. So I'm on the first quarter under 56 -118 and the full game under 217.5 -110. Dan Kelly, shout out to you. I think I speak for everyone when I say we love you. Dan Kelly, thank you so much. Great human being. And as far as an NBA capper is concerned, just unparalleled. Maybe not unparalleled. I'm sure there's other people who are as good as
Austin Kavazi saying fading Jimmy in NFL's gold. Man, you picked the right week to fade me. That was the worst week by far. I have it all year. I go 1 win and 8 losses. And but do we have our NFL stats? He says fade me all year. Do we have?
I think we do. I think we do have the NFL stats.
I went 1 win, 8 losses on Friday or last week. Sorry, Austin Kavazi. 1 win and 8 losses. But this is about honesty and transparency. Oh no, that's before.
That's before, I guess.
Yeah. So I was 89 and 74 before that week when I went 1 win and 8 losses. So hopefully you just fade me 1 week of the year, and it was last week, Austin Kavazi.
And one thing I will say, Jimmy the Bag, is that I say this every week in NFL. I mean, every year in NFL. Week 17, I usually pass, even if I hear reports about how the entire team is sitting and blah blah blah, and there's a 7-point line movement here. I'm usually just passing. Also, which doesn't mean that you're likely to go 1-9. It means you're likely to go maybe via coin flip. It's just a crazy week, and I was
very pensive.
Yeah.
But after breaking it down with Donnie and Well, Capper, I thought I saw some. It was just an awful way to end the regular season. But Austin Gavazzi, please fade away.
Yeah,
fade away, my friend.
No, I mean, week 17 is just seriously whacked out. All right, let's quickly talk about college basketball. I did give the under in where is that one? In NC State, Miami, Florida. I got 154 minus 110. I grabbed it at the beginning of the show because I was afraid that it was going to drop by now, and it has dropped to 153. I could still get 153.5. But again, NC State is a deep team. They like to play clampdown defense, but they have had they played kind of a cupcake schedule, which means that I think their offense has been a little bit their offensive numbers are a little bit more inflated than what we're going to see from them in the grind of the ACC regular season. And Miami, Florida knows they're going to be at a disadvantage as far as personnel is concerned. I like the first half under as well. I definitely like the full game under. It opened at 157.5. I bet it at 155. I gave it as a pick at 154. It's now down to 153.5. And huge shout out to Matt Randall, who told us in the beginning of the show, grab Portland State under 156. Then he told us later in this show, grab Portland State under 155 when it moved. Let's see where it is right now. Matt Randall really liking Portland State, Montana State under. Oh my God, this is just unwieldy here.
It's a huge card. Catered to you by Chef Jeff says, where's the guy who picked Indiana State last night? Hey, he'll be on our show, and he had a winning night last night. There's going to be losses.
Yeah,
Chef Jeff, and I love Chef Jeff.
Yeah.
I follow him on Twitter, but there's going to be losses.
No, one of them was Matt Randall. Actually, Matt Randall said he loved. He was actually the first one who said he loved Indiana State. And then I asked Maxwell Smart, and Maxwell Smart said, "I love Indiana." I was all right. That's enough for me. Yeah.
And the one thing about our show is, win or lose, we show our record, we look you guys in the face, and we are honest about it. And Max will be too. I listened to what Max was saying on our show last night. I made the plays. I made 7 bets off of it. Went 4-3.
Yeah, he had a great call on that over in the game that had 130. I think it was American, like 133. He said that's way too low.
I took American and I took the over in that game that went 2-0. Just listening to Max. So there's going to be losses. Mm-hmm. And Max is going to be here again with us on Thursday. And I think we are so lucky to have him here rolling with us. And we've been still fooling around with sound and stuff with him because I guarantee we will have him sounding perfect at some point soon, and we're going to have him on the late show here. Brandon Marin says liking NC State -2, Indiana -12, Michigan Penn over, Western Kentucky -8, Georgia State -5.5, Green Bay -12.5, and Loyola -2.5. And catered you by Jeff Chef says, just kidding. I've been an avid follower and supporter. Jokes, guys, jokes. No, we love you, Jeff. We love you. Absolutely. Love you.
All right. I think that's about it. Ron Lofton says Max knows his shit. End of story. He will be on in the afternoon show. I have just one play here, the under in the NC State game, which I am liking. And damn, a lot of my plays yesterday, the Seton Hall team total over cash, which I didn't give as an official play. I would also be leaning first half under in this NC State game as well. And I think I am going to take that one, even though I like the first half under in the Harvard.
I got to reply to this. Dan Kelly, come on. I'm just saying about that one stat. You gave me the last 6 games. That's all. Dan Kelly, I think you're magic. But I know that you've been doing this your whole life. So why did you only give me the last 6 games, Dan? That's all. Hey, I love Dan.
Here you go.
6 games, though, Dan. Come on.
Dan Kelly says, it's nice to be recognized even if some people we know don't think my sample sizes are big enough. All right, let me see. I should have given the Harvard first half under yesterday, even though it only cashed by a half point. It was still a lean, and I should have given it. And I think I might give the first half under here in where is it? In the NC State game. Where is it? Where the hell is it? Unwieldy. Okay, so let's see. 72.5 minus 110 at Intertops, and I think I think I will take that one. NC State under. NC State and a few other places. I'm going to take the first half under as well. First half under, 72.5 minus 110. Opened at 74.
Max
That's
is with us in the chat right now. He says, hope the bubble hasn't burst on the San Fran Dons.
Okay, and we will be back at 4:30 Eastern time for the evening show, for the afternoon show. Thanks so much, everyone.